Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, March 27th, 2024. It is 6:32. If I can please invite Reverend David Collins up for the invocation.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It certainly is a great day. Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we just thank you for this day. I thank you for a lot of things. It's an honor and a privilege that you'd have us assemble just to do the work that you put before us. So, Lord, give us wisdom, give us the help, the strength, and the understanding that we need to get the job done. And bless every person here, their families. Keep us safe, Lord. Help us to have a good day in you. In Jesus' name I pray, and I say amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez? Here. Trustee Henson?
Present.
Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Rakes?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Udris?
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only. May I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Make that motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, and moving on to the clerk's.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. Just two items here. One, I want to just remind everyone in regards to the economic interest statement. I think I have not just put out that the deadline to file is May 1st, so you have a little bit of time, but just wanted to put that out there. And secondly, if there's anyone who is looking to replace a bed or need additional pillow, this is the third annual Creek Monee Band Boosters Mattress Fundraiser. It is one day only. It is Sunday, April 28th from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's just like walking into a mattress store. They'll have all the beds and things on display. So come out and support the students. And if you mention any students in particular, they actually receive monies for you coming. So, end of report. Not end of report. I'm sorry about that. Just making sure everyone was on their toes. So I also would like to have a motion to release the executive session minute dates, which would be February 27th, 2019, March 13th, 2019, August 28th, 2019, October 14th, 2020, November 18th, 2020, January 13th, 2021, January 27th, 2021, March 17th, 2021, March 24th, 2021, April 14th, 2021, April 13th, 2022, December 14th, 2022, January 25th, 2023, and February 27th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
End of my report.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to my report, there's a lot listed here. We've had two previous meetings regarding the budget on May 11th and May 18th. So what I would like to do is items number 1 through 11, then also items number 13 and 14. If I could have a motion to accept the final votes for the following.
We're doing them all together.
I was going to.
Ever going to talk about the other ones individually?
Correct.
I said 1 through
And then 13.
1 through 11.
1 through 11.
And then 13 and 14?
Okay. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
No.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Board. Now, item number 12, this was an oversight in our discussions previously. So I would like deputy pay raises, I would like to introduce at 5.5%, which would include the deputy chief of police and our interim deputy superintendent for DPW. I feel that they are in between the supervisor and department head category, and therefore 5%'s kind of splitting the difference between the department head at 6 and the supervisors at 5%. So if I can have a motion for that,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
discussion.
So this is just kind of, I guess, separate, but keep it together in line to balance it all out.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Thank you. And now, item number 15, discussion approval for the fiscal year 24-25 budget. So I would like a motion to approve the final draft of the fiscal year 24-25 budget.
Make that motion.
I will second.
Any discussion on that?
And by the deadline once again, so thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, but we got it done. All right, if I can have roll call, please.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
No.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board, and yeah, we need to have 15-day public review and post it in the paper, so the timing and everything, this will be finalized with an ordinance at the April 24th meeting then, with the timing. So thank you, Board, appreciate it. Moving on to the administrator's report.
6:40.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The first item up is Industrial Drive Water and Sanitary Project, Aries Pay Request Number 11. The village has received this pay request from Aries, Inc. for work completed on the reference project. The invoice has been reviewed by staff in Robinson Engineering and found to be in substantial compliance with the plans and specifications. We respectfully recommend that Aries, Inc. is entitled to payment in the amount of $118,496.00 as summarized below. Total earned to date is $1,785,043.97, less a 2.5 retention of $44,626.17, for a subtotal of $1,740,417.80, less a previous billing of $1,621,921.73. And again, amount due this pay request is $118,496.07. Board action request is a motion to approve Aries Inc. pay request number 11 in the amount of $118,496.07.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item, the 2024 Monee Roadway Maintenance Project, a bid award recommendation. On March 20th, 2024, the village received and reviewed the only bid submitted for the above referenced project, Iroquois Paving Corporation, in the amount of $2,750,583.85. The engineer's cost estimate was $2,580,947.50. As seen in the bid tabulation, the bid amount is approximately 6.2% higher than the estimated cost of $2,580,947.50. Since the village has received only one bid, we would respectfully recommend that the contract be awarded to Iroquois Paving Corporation. Board action request is a motion to award the 2024 Monee roadway maintenance project to Iroquois Paving Corporation in the amount of $2,750,583.85.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yes,
Just-
why is the amounts different?
The bid amount, all the contractors have an opportunity to, after looking at the specifications for the bid, to place a number of what their estimated costs are. And the engineer, which is Robinson in this instance, also has their numbers that they put together, and then they provide for the village what their estimated cost would be. Sometimes there's going to be those differences in numbers, and hence awarding of these bids to the lowest bidder. In this instance, only having one bid, it's the board's prerogative to make that decision whether or not to choose this bid or to forego the bid, and we would have to go out and rebid this again, this project. Just as a reminder, if that was something that the board would entertain, time is of the essence, and most of the contractors are already set for the rest of the year. So, having said that.
I have one question very similar to that. Max, is there any way that you can kind of entertain that thought, where kind of line by line the differences between their estimate and what Robinson estimated at? Was there certain like pieces of the estimate that seemed glaringly different?
The biggest
Can you come to the mic? Thank you.
Sorry about that. The biggest difference in cost was the HMA hot mix asphalt price.
HMA being, thank
Yeah,
you.
the hot mix asphalt price for both surface and binder, those prices came in higher than our estimate, which made up the difference.
Thank you.
Was availability for the, do we know what was why we didn't get other bids, why other companies didn't bid? Was it availability, projects?
That's a great question. There were 4 packets that were picked up. I think P.T. Farrell was one of them, Austin Tyler, there was, I don't know if you remember the other ones, but Gallagher, I think.
P.T. Farrell, D Construction, and K5, I believe, were the other 3.
Yeah. So they did pick, those packets were picked
Okay.
up, it just, for whatever reason, they chose not to, and I think maybe the probability that, Iroquois being in town, I think that probably plays a factor in some of those numbers when these bids go out.
Thank you.
Iroquois being in town does always play a big factor in that whole thing there, because you have like K5, they're all over the place, and Gallagher, I think the closest is down in Bradley, and so on. So they have to pay the trucks more to haul anything in and haul anything out to the different places. So, I mean, that's my line of work there, so I understand why Iroquois usually comes in at a better rate, because they're right next door. So.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hansen?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to our officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
So I want to clarify something that may have been misconstrued at our last meeting about the presence of storms coming through town. I am not in favor of any storms coming through town. One of our trustees, who goes by the name of John Henson, called me out on that the other day when there was some flurries. But I'm really happy to say that we've taken delivery of 130 tons of road salt, so we are at complete full capacity. So if we're ready for anything, we're hoping, and I'll go on record in affirming this, that we don't want any winter weather-like conditions, but we won't need to order any more salt this year. We'll be starting 24-25 winter season with a full bin. We've purchased a total of 530 tons this year, fulfilling our contract obligations. So let's hope that it just sits there. The first branch pickup of the year is scheduled for Monday, April 1st. Branch pickup will be provided to the village residents on the first and third Monday of each month from April through November. Just some guidelines. Scheduled dates are weather permitting and may be rescheduled as circumstances warrant. Branches must be placed at curbside for pickup prior to the date of pickup. We do not enter private property to collect branches. Cut end of branches should be pointing toward the road. Root balls and branches with excessive dirt will not be collected, as this can clog or damage our equipment. Grass clippings, weeds, flowers will not be picked up with the branches. These can be placed in craft bags or containers for Republic yard waste pickup. Sticks and branches in cans will not be picked up. These cans should be marked as yard waste and picked up by Republic. Crews picking up branches will not rake debris from Parkway. Sticks and branches small enough to be raked can be placed in the bags for Republic. And branch collection is provided as a service to Monee residents maintaining their own property. Branches cut or trimmed by contractors will not be picked up. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
And thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things tonight, and it has all to do with our Easter egg hunt this coming weekend. Is the Easter egg hunt? It has 7,000 eggs. Thank you to the Monee Alliance of Churches for donating over 60 baskets for those winners as well. Festivities will begin at 9:30 a.m. under the pavilion, with the bunny taking pictures with your pups. So if you have a very photogenic pup and would like a picture with the Easter bunny, please come up at 9:30. 10 to 10:30 in the park building is coffee and donuts being served with the help of the Monee Women's Club and donations from Zing Healthcare. So those, you come get your donuts and coffee in the morning, and then the egg hunt will be, don't forget, is across the street at the Monee Education Center, the baseball field by the Monee Education Center, and it starts promptly at 10:30 and is over in less than a minute, so you need to be on time. And just a couple things I'll add in. Monee Women's Club is also in the throes of spring activities. The first one of which is our spring flower sale going on now. Orders will be taken through April 12th and delivered on April 30th at our vendor fair. And our vendor fair is the 9th annual one. And once again, hoping to get a bunch of shoppers out there. So we have everything from candles to crochet to flowers to food tastings and all of that. So please come on April 30th to New Hope from 9 to 1 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Finance, Trustee Rakes.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report tonight, but I would like to say thank you to Daryl for all of his hard work and everyone involved. He really is the little engine that could behind the scenes. So thank you, bud. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, good evening, everyone. There's no new business license that have been, or no new businesses that have been issued business licenses since last meeting. Economic Development Director Bill Browns is currently working behind the scenes. Oh, I got it right. No? I know. Barnes. Oh, see, I get in mode. I'm sorry. I was just actually seeing if you were paying attention. So everybody passed. Everybody passed. So, but he's currently working behind the scenes on some current projects. We don't have any information at this time to divulge, but hopefully by the next meeting we'll have some information to share with everyone. As always, shop Monee when available. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you. Moving on to Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. A permit for grading, for mass grading was issued to JPR Development, Indian Motorcycle Dealership at Governor's Highway, for their proposed 11,050 square foot storage building to house the overflow of their ATVs. Now, I got this on Monday. It says that once the construction plans are finalized in the next few days, the building construction should begin soon. Well, they were, and if you guys go down 50 and look behind Indian, it's almost halfway up already. So we have finalized that, and it's being built right now, and probably be done tomorrow. I'm not sure, but. The building department issued a temporary business operations shutdown for Dollar General last Thursday afternoon due to code violations, including electrical issues, indoor and outdoor, and rolling carts blocking aisles, to name a couple. We are in communication with Dollar General Corporation management addressing the issues, and we are told their maintenance crew is working to resolve the issue as soon as possible. And to address the public outcry for it being closed down and everything, our building services won't close stuff down because they've got an axe to grind or anything like that. It's because of public health and or safety, and both issues are with this, and I hear a lot of hate coming in, and it's for everybody's health and safety. So we're not just building services isn't somebody just going, oh, let's mess with them today. So, end of report.
Thank you. Moving on to public safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. For Emergency Management Agency, all the outdoor warning sirens have been serviced and tested and are ready to go. All the sirens do have battery backups in the event of power outages, and our siren at George Trail and Anna actually did require battery replacement, so the services, definitely is worth it. For our police department, yesterday morning, an elderly subject walked up to the side door at the elementary school and tried to enter the building. Finding the door locked, he returned to his vehicle and left the area. Monee Police was called, and they responded and immediately secured the school, checked the area for the subject vehicle. Staff was unable to get a license plate, but they did get a description of the vehicle, and that was fed into the license plate reader system, and that subject was identified as being from Northwest Indiana. The license plate reader system provided enough information for investigators to issue an alert identifying the suspicious activity. And while the subject has not yet been identified, the vehicle has been spotted on several Indiana license plate reader systems, and it showed a pattern that will help in locating this vehicle. This is only possible because of the license plate reader systems that were recently erected on Will Center. These license plate reading systems are giving us the ability to keep a closer eye on any potential criminal activity in the area, especially around our school. Because of everything that we know, there is some speculation that the elderly subject may actually have been confused or lost. This is a good time to also remind everybody that Monee Police Department has a relationship with Angel Sense, which provides location devices to protect those who have special needs and may wander or easily become confused. If you've got a loved one who could benefit from this extra layer of protection, check out our Facebook site for more information, or you can go to angelsense.com. Monee Police Department is always available to assist you with setting this up. We do this not just because it's the right thing to do, but because we promised Trustee Liz Rakes that we always would, and we don't ever break promises to Liz. So we miss you, Liz. Rest in peace. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one item for the board's review and consideration. This is an ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 2, Section 3A5. This basically deals with exterior lighting. I believe the Robinson Engineering has reviewed this and made a recommendation to approve it. I believe it went before the zoning board, and they also
were informed of this ordinance. It basically indicates that floodlights aren't supposed to be directed towards neighbors and other restrictions, so it won't become a nuisance. It's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
So this is just so lights aren't pointed at their buildings?
Yes, yes, sir. And you'll see some places where the lights are reflecting, not in Monee, but other places where they're reflecting to neighbors' windows. And sometimes they'll have the flagpole where it's lit, but it's going to other places. So all it is to not cause a nuisance for other neighbors.
Thank you.
Also, this new ordinance, has this come before us because of repeated reports or complaints about their neighbors having lights shining in their eyes?
No, ma'am. I believe what it was, when we authorized Robinson to review the building code, this is one of their recommendations. But I don't think we've received complaints on it, but Robinson recommended that we adopt this ordinance.
So I'm not sure what you call them, but those lights, string of lights with the bare bulbs, those are not luminaries, right? I don't know what you
No.
call them.
Edison lights, yeah.
Edison lights, okay. Are those covered in this ordinance?
No.
Okay.
It's just basically floodlights or lights towards a flag.
Spots and so
Yes.
forth. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
floodlights and directional lights.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with this residentially, would it be like a motion light? And I
Like a security motion light?
yeah.
No. It's deals with floodlights. You see situations in other places, again, where the floodlight's not the way it's supposed to be, and I think Robinson's run into this problem before, so they recommended we have it on the books before it does become a problem.
And
So
this
for-
go ahead.
So just preventative
Yes, sir.
before we get there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
And as Chuck had said, residential, but that also includes if someone is in residential and a business or something goes up near them, if their lights, it
Yes.
entails all lights and all lighting like that. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's why I've seen the biggest issues with other municipalities having issues with commercial businesses and then erecting floodlights to overlook their properties that also shine into the backyards of residential areas. So it's good preventative maintenance, and it's good that we're being proactive about it instead of reactive.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
2053.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Any unfinished business? Okay, moving on to new business, discussion approval, read the 457 deferred compensation plan, retirement healthcare funding plan. I know we had discussed this at our finance meeting. Jude, Daryl, if you would like to come up and maybe just give a short recap, that would be great.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, trustees. We had a discussion regarding the 457 tax deferred plan, very similar to a 401K plan, that we wish to have consensus to proceed in providing all employees of the village the opportunity to make those investments for themselves. In addition to that 457 type plan, which is similar to the 401K plan, we asked for consensus for a sponsored public pension fund plan through the MPPFA. Both programs would be provided through the MPPFA and available to all of our employees. That retirement healthcare funding plan would allow our employees to put monies aside for health care upon their retirement. If you have questions, I can help answer them.
Jude, I do have, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. I do have a question. Is this optional, or is this something they have to enroll in?
It is optional to enroll, but once there's an enrollment period and it is done, then you are not able to join the plan. So there will be an enrollment period for all existing employees, and those employees will have an option to enroll. If they choose not to enroll, that option would not be available again. At this point, as far as the MPPFA goes, they would not be eligible to enroll. They would be locked out of that enrollment process.
Can I ask
So there's not
why?
an every year thing that they can do then, right?
I'm
If they don't
sorry?
want- If they don't want to do it this year, they don't have an enrollment period the following year or the following 6 months or anything. It's just once they're done?
I'm gonna defer to Daryl for a moment, if you would, please. Daryl had-
Sounds odd.
Yes.
It does sound a little weird.
Yeah, as it stands now, as Jude stated, it is a one-time event. You get one chance to join once it's offered. That is correct.
So then what about new employees that come in down the road? They would still get the opportunity?
They would still get the opportunity, yes.
All new employees would be eligible then to enroll upon their coming on board, and after they onboard, MPPFA would be notified, they would meet with that employee and then be able to allow them to enroll.
So
Okay,
if I was an employee right now and I put X amount in, and then later on, 6 months down the road or whatever, I want to bump that up, are they allowed to do that?
Yes. You can change
Okay.
your enrollment options, and because it's a deferred type vesting thing.
Yeah.
You're able to choose how much you want to enroll with, and then you get to choose how you want to invest those monies in both plans.
And this is very little, if any, cost to the village?
It costs the village nothing.
Thank you.
It's all employee-based contribution.
And this is both union and non-union employees, correct?
We want to offer it to all of our employees.
Just want-
It helps with retention, and it makes you it helps with you becoming an employer of choice.
okay, I'd like to get a little bit more into this, but I don't want to get too far into it because I don't all the way understand it. Why the reason for the lockout?
That's just one of the rules that the group has implemented. Similar to IMRF, you have to, you don't have an option with IMRF. You have to, once you become a full-time employee, you have to become a part of it. So it's just one of the things that happens as part of their investment cycle, the way they invest their funds. They kind of forecast what they're looking at. So once you are in the plan, then you're in the plan. And if you're out, then you're out.
Okay, so in the event, Daryl, that you're in right now, and let's say you resigned for X amount of time and then came back, would they then be eligible to come into that then at that time?
Yes, because you would be considered then a new employee again.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there like a vestiture or anything, a certain amount of years, or,
The beauty of this plan is that you're vested once you're in,
When you're in.
100%. Yep.
And for our employees, as you hit a specific age period, you are able to play catch-up. So you're able to invest more funds as a catch-up fund. So when you retire, you have, if you wish, to put the maximum amount in the plan, you have reached that maximum amount contribution.
Is this in terms of a matching scenario?
No.
No, we
No.
would not look, at this juncture, the village would not look to match that. It would be all employee investment, and then they would choose how much they wish to put in and how they choose to make those investments.
Thank you.
When you get into matching, then you get into the 401K realm. But yeah,
That was where I was trying to understand the difference.
yeah. This is basically a savings account, an employee savings account that they deferred payment that's set aside. Those funds are allocated toward the investment company. They disperse those funds according to how you stipulate. If you want high, medium, low risk, have at it. Is there a minimum that they must come out of their check? Could they put $5, $10 just to hold it, or could they do the max?
There is no minimum.
Right on.
That's
Yeah.
it's perfect.
And no,
Either, I believe.
Yeah.
the other thing to remember is that it is tax deferred, so after you've put these monies in, even when you take them, you're not paying the taxes for those. So it is really a win-win for the employees.
This is also going to supplement pensions, 401Ks, or any kind of other funds for retirement, because you have to have multiple eggs in the basket in order to survive life after employment. So this is a step in the right direction. It's wonderful. I appreciate the labor and effort and the vision for this, because that's looking out for the employees. That's making them safe in the retirement end of the game. Young guy coming in, girl coming in, not thinking about it, but they'll be thankful that they got invested into this program when they start, when they're on the back half of their career, because that's when you start thinking about those things.
Yes, that was the wisest conversation I've ever had in my employment, when somebody came to me as a very young woman starting my career and saying to me, we have this available, do it. You won't even miss the monies. And when I was ready to retire, I was ready to retire because I listened to that person saying, you should just put even the minimum amount in and go for it.
Absolutely.
Ruben, are we looking for a motion? Or I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
And I would just say too, and just being in the being in the senior industry, if they're saving for their health care in retirement, you gotta do it. God only knows what's gonna happen by the time we retire.
Yes.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Open to the public, non-agenda items.
Good evening, esteemed members of the Village Board. My name is Heather Clarkson. I come before you today with a sense of trepidation, but also a deep sense of urgency to address some concerning issues that have arisen in recent days. I stand here not only to bring awareness to these matters, but also to request your thoughtful consideration and assistance in finding a just resolution. Firstly, I must highlight an incident that occurred on the morning of March 5th. Without prior notice or invitation, not one, not two, but 3 village officials arrived at my door unannounced at 8:30 a.m. This unexpected intrusion, while no imminent danger was present, caused undue stress and anxiety, particularly considering the medical issues we are facing in my household. Rob, who has mobility issues and was not wearing his prosthetics at the time, was caught off guard by this visit. I must inquire whether there exists a policy governing the conduct of village officials in such situations, as this is not the first time of such behavior. My home is my safe haven, and such visits without warning violate that sense of security. Furthermore, I am compelled to address the matter of response times to emails addressed by the village office. It has been disheartening to experience prolonged delays, or worse, no response at all, to several important inquiries. A transparent and efficient communication process is vital to fostering trust and collaboration between the community and its governing body. The impetus for this presentation stems from a recent incident involving a stop work order placed on my property. Despite there being no ongoing construction or renovation work, this order was issued without adequate explanation or detail, further exasperating the confusion and distress. Subsequent actions, including the placement of additional notices, only added to the frustration, particularly considering the timing of these actions. The alleged violation pertains to 2 portable sheds that were placed on our property. These portable sheds were fully constructed off-site and installed in less than an hour. Prior to this, we sought guidance from the village regarding the necessity of permits and were informed that they were not required. However, the documentation provided to us subsequent to the issuance of the stop work orders pertains solely to permanent and/or temporary structures. Our sheds do not fall under either category, as they are intended to be portable and removable. It is important to clarify that we plan to take them with us should we relocate in the future. In conclusion, I seek nothing more than fair and equitable resolution to these matters. I urge the village board to consider the facts presented and to work collaboratively towards resolving these issues in a manner that upholds the principles of justice and fairness. Thank you for your attention and consideration.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to be going into executive session for item number 1, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. The following PIN numbers: 2114174020290000, 2114211060020000, and 21142331003000. So if I can please have a motion to adjourn and go
I'll
into
make that
executive
motion.
session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn? Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
7:13 p.m.
Motion to reopen regular session.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okay, possible action to be taken after executive session. We've reached a consensus to negotiate on the first PIN number with negotiations to not exceed $295,000. And then the last two PIN numbers, negotiations starting at $150,000, not to exceed $165,000. Agreed?
We can do those separate since they're listed.
Separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the first one?
The first one is 211417402029.
Anyone motion?
Motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion, or can we? Roll call.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
And then the following, which are the PIN numbers 211421106002 and 211421331003. So that would be motion to negotiate starting at $150,000, not to exceed $165,000.
Anyone motion?
Motion, anyone?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
If I may, right before we adjourn, I just wanted to, with this being the last meeting of Women's History Month, I wanted to, of course, thank every woman that we have here, from the mayor, every woman in office, every employee that we have, as well as every woman resident who helps make Monee home.
Awesome, thank you. You as well.
Yes.
May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
8:23 p.m.